Hello and welcome guys, ArmaganVideos here, today with a tutorial in Adobe Photoshop about a trap gothic style album cover. And I got inspired by different modern DJs and music groups like ASAP or Hucci, a young producer that's using this kind of style for his album covers. And I think it's very modern right now. And yeah, we should recreate this or something like that, so you could maybe learn some new techniques. So let's create a new document. I think 1500 by 1500 in pixel whites with our perfect. Create a new dark background. I almost every time use black. And yeah, now we have to create a border, and since I don't like working with vectors in Photoshop, I'm using Adobe Illustrator for it. So I just recreated this document. Make sure to disable a stroke, then grab the rectangle tool and make a little border that looks like mine here. First of all, a long straight line, then go 90 degrees to the right, then again 90 degrees up to create a unique shape. As you can see here, pretty basic at all. The tutorial at all is very basic, I think. But it looks kind of good. In this style you have to combine like luxury things like gold chains or anything like that, also roses or leaves from roses, but combine it with a kind of gothic dark style. Yeah, it looks kind of Illuminati or something like this. So there you go, I'm creating the border right here. This is the shape I'm talking about, and I made a little cut here because as you can see, I used some help boxes so that all the sides are as long as the other sides. Then use the pathfinder to combine these shapes and delete the last anchor points that you can see there just by clicking on it with the pen tool. Then I create a little rectangle there, as you can see, aligned it with some help guides. And yeah, this is the shape of the border for the top left corner. What you have to do now is like align it perfectly. So I put it to the top left corner, then hold shift and press 2 times to the right and 2 times down. And since we have the top left corner ready, we have to subtract or duplicate it, as you can see here. That worked like perfectly. But as you can see, we now don't have this unique shape at the top right corner and the down left corner. So we have to subtract a bit from the shape. And I also, after recording this tutorial, saw that I made a failure there, or mistake. Look, when I'm subtracting this, our little rectangle on the top left went away. So what you have to do is like select all the things that you've done for the border and make a compound path. So that the, it's a compound path and that you can just work with it. As you can see, I now have to recreate the rectangle. Isn't really a big mistake, but you can probably save some time. And yeah, it's good to know that you can work with compound paths there. So now just duplicate the border. Yeah, I did a mistake. You have to press Ctrl C and Ctrl F to put it right in front of the other thing that you've just used. So now grab these two. Press Ctrl F and Ctrl C and Ctrl F again. Rotate it by pressing R and then just dragging down your mouse. And there we go. We have our shape, and now you can adjust the width of the border, but I like this. Looks good. So now hold Ctrl C again, just to put it right in our Photoshop comp. Then double click on the layer, go to color overlay and select the kind of goldish, yellowy color, I would say. And oh, I messed up. So there you go, kind of yellow, goldish. You can just copy the hex code from mine, but I'm going to, I changed the color later on, since we have to do some little adjustments later. Okay, hit OK. There we go, our border is ready. So this is the, luxury element that we are going to use. Also, what's very typical for this kind of style is using like Greek or Roman statues, like basically old statues. And as you can see, I just deleted the background by using the magic wand tool, clicking on the white one, then shift clicking on a mask, and there we go. Then you can click on the mask and use refine mask to make it like perfect on the edges. I'm playing around with smooth and feather and also the shift edge options so that you have a perfect cut around our statue. And as you can see, there are some little lines around there that are, that were the problem with the magic wand tool. You can easily delete them by clicking on the mask and going over them with a black color. So another element of this style is like deleting the eyes, or better make them dark or even white. So keep your layers clean and give them proper names. Call this statue. And now we used our pen tool to cut out the eyes. There you go, follow the eyes here. Then press A to click on a specific anchor point and hold Alt while adjusting the anchor. Then right click, make selection, and just use a black brush again and go over it. Also make sure that you have the mask selected, because when you haven't selected it, you're just going to draw a white, with a black brush over your picture. Again, the same thing with the with the left eye of the statue. Make selection, 0 feather, delete it. And since this looks kind of weird, you also have to add some shadows by creating a new layer and making it a clipping mask of your statue. Then press B to get your brush tool. Just use something like 500 pixels with 100% with the 0% hardness, sorry. And just go over the eye so that it looks kind of shadowy. There you go. Also a bit on the top because there's not so much light. There you go. And now you can just play with the blend modes. Just scroll through them by clicking on it and then using the arrow keys. Yeah, soft light or overlay should do the job, and then also duplicate the layer and just put it on normal and then play with the opacity to get like a perfect result. That's my workflow. I almost create, or every time I'm creating like 2 layers. Alright, there we go. Our statue should be finished. Oh, there's... My keyboard just switched to the English layout, although I'm using the German normally. Alright. So our statue is finished and we could continue now with our background. Or we could also cut our statue right now because it looks kind of weird with the hard edges right there. First of all, let's group it, give it a name, of course. And let's go for the background. So drag a dark background in, kind of shadowy dark. Looks a bit like a horror atmosphere. Fog is always very good for this kind of style. So there we go. You don't have to play with the blend modes. I thought I had like a pattern, but wasn't like that. So just pull down the opacity. Also use levels to adjust the black and the white in our image. As you can see here, I want it to be like very dark at the dark edges of our image right here. There you go, this looks good. And since it's a smart object, as you can see there, by right clicking and making it a smart object, you can add Gaussian blur on it. Put it to like, I don't know, maybe 5 pixels or so. But since it's a smart object, you can adjust this Gaussian blur setting later on, so it's not a problem if you want to make something up, want to make some changes to it. Okay, then resize our... Yeah, you can play with the statue. I mean, you can look at the young producer I mentioned in the beginning. Hucci is his name. Hucci. He has some different styles of these statues, but I like his album cover very much, so I'm kind of copying his style, but yeah, we're using it for educational purposes right here. So what I'm doing right here is adjusting the shape of our statue, because I don't like the hard edges on the left and the right. And you can also see the kind of weird edges from the magic wand tool on the left and the right and the top. And yeah, you can delete these also by using the pen tool. So you can see I'm just going around here pretty roughly right now. Right click, make selection, and use a black brush and deleting these lines right here. You can still see the lines on the left. So grab a hard brush, go over them, so you don't accidentally, you see, I accidentally made a straight line to the down left corner, and use a hard thing to delete all the lines, and there's our perfectly cut out statue. Alright, so as I mentioned, I like the style of Hucci, so I just pulled up the size of our statue, pulled it right to the right side there. Also make a copy by pressing, oh, first of all I have to group them up there. Or maybe first of all adjust the brightness because it was too dark. Yeah, there you go. This looks great, actually. So then let's copy this. Right click, then flip horizontally. I think, yeah, horizontally. Yeah. There you go. 2 copies of it. I should move the left statue a bit to the left, but it's okay. Don't have to be perfect. So what we're going to do now is give our statues a kind of drop shadow. Because I want to have a shadow on our golden border right there. It looks, yeah, it looks just better, so that you can imagine the statue in front of the border, and shadows aren't a bad idea in this kind of style right here. So I just tried to find where my shadow is, and I just wanted to have it on the bottom right here. But then I decided to to get rid of the distance, because I wanted the shadows also to be on the top of the border or of our statue head, and not just at the bottom of it. So there we go. You can hold Alt while clicking the FX button right there on our group, and then just use the mouse to kind of copy this layer style. So don't have to type in the different options right there every time. Just copy them. It's pretty easy actually. As you can see, I'm doing it very often right here. As I tell you in any tutorials of mine, keep your layers clean and simple, give them names, group them up and stuff. It's very effective, trust me. Alright, so as I mentioned also in the beginning, I want to adjust our border to make it look more luxury, golden, give it a nice shine maybe. So what I first tried is here changing the gradient to kind of differ in the color, like have it golden in the bottom, then a bit more white because it's shiny. What I basically discovered that it's a lot of effort that you have to put in to get this kind of effect, so I just went back to our normal color. And I'm going to create a new layer right now, make it a clipping mask, and use a white brush to make it kind of look shiny, and then adjust the blend mode, as you can see right here. So grab our brush, big one, change the color to white, and I started painting here, but nothing appeared somehow. So yeah, I had to figure it out, and I got the problem. It was our overlay, or more like our border, because we have a color overlay on it. And the clipping mask is going under the color overlay. So you have to right click on our border and make rasterize layer style, I think. Now you can see our white brush got accepted. I'm making a clipping mask and changing the blending mode to overlay, and now you can see it looks kind of shiny and more golden as when you just use a plain color right there. As you can see, since we used the refine edge tool, this kind of looks blurry and stuff, and you could yeah, it's always a better idea to use the pen tool to cut out stuff because it's manually very good, and the refine edge tool is kind of using mathematical algorithms to calculate something, and yeah, kind of looks weird. So now we go over to our typeface, our text design, and I think I choose Bibas Neue as a font right there. Also, what's a pretty common style right now is to put dots in between every letter that you're typing. Also, trills is a word from the scene. No idea, I'm just hearing this music from time to time. There we go. You could also exchange the S with a $sign. There you go, I used Bibas Neue, the new. And now I am creating a little vector rectangle. That's exactly the size of our S right there. Put it above and at the bottom, so it looks like a $sign. And that's for our text design. Of course, you can spend a lot of more time on an album cover that's going to be released and stuff, but that's just for the purpose of the tutorial. So there you go. Group it up again, call it maybe font design. There you go. So another great element of this kind of technique or style of album covers are roses. Of course, you could now use them with the red color, but since we want to go with the luxury gold and gray style, I'm going to put a black and white filter over it, create a clipping mask, of course. Again, levels to pull up the whites and push down the darks of our roses. I said roses because we are going to duplicate them in a blink. Yeah, that looks fine to me. You have to look that you match up the colors or the whites and blacks to the statues. And now just create a copy, make them a bit smaller, pull them behind our statue, then copy them again by pressing Ctrl and J. Yeah, there you go. Then take both, press Ctrl and J and press Ctrl and T to rotate them, and just follow along the shape of our statue. That it looks kind of like the statue is embedded into a bed of roses. yeah, differ with the rotation, so the roses doesn't look like literally copied. They should look like different roses every time. Then copy all the roses, press Ctrl T, flip horizontally again, pull them behind the other statue. As you can see, we're just far too much in the middle and our font design got interrupted. So there you go, push them to the left and the other ones to the right. No rocket science, as you can see. I'm not using any rulers or help guides right here because it's, yeah, the human eye can't even tell the difference right there. Or it could tell, but it's not really important right now. So there you go. And what's also a pretty common style right now when using this album cover right here is also used in it's often used in videos, that you have kind of those kaleidoscopic effect on the background and that something is rotating in front of it. So what we're going to do now is get like perfectly a fourth of our background. And since we are using 1500 pixels in the height and the width, you just divide it by 4 and you get 750. So you have to get a perfect rectangle selection of 750 by 750. Then right click, make a copy, go to flip vertical. Oh damn, you have to do a copy of at first, of course. So flip horizontally, make sure that it's lined up perfectly so you don't have any missing lines there. Then copy those two again. Oh, I made a mistake. That was right. And pull them together again. There you go, we have the kaleidoscopic effect right there. Not really kaleidoscopic, it's more like reflecting. Because kaleidoscopic is something different, I think. It's more like pulling these layers together and blending in and stuff. So there you go. The basic shape of our album cover in a trap in Gothic style look. So what you can do now is adjust the colors, brightness, and stuff like that. As you can see here, I'm trying now putting over a solid color like a dark purple. And then adjust the blending modes. I think it was, yeah, just scroll through them because the colors look cool. There you go, this looks kind of cool. Lighten. Also this one. But yeah, I decided to delete them. So just get rid of it. Yeah, it doesn't look too good when the border is in front, so press Ctrl Z to undo this effect. Also make sure that you save your album cover. So what we can do now is you can make a new layer, go to image, apply image so that it flattens the image, all the layers into one image. Then go to filter and blur and Gaussian blur. So I decided to go like 5 pixels, yeah. And then play with the blend modes or also just use the opacity. As you can see, there's kind of a nice glowing effect on it. And it also darkens the whole image, as you can see here. I really like this effect. It's perfect for this Gothic kind of image right here, album cover. And it gives it a kind of dark look. Foggy, perfect for the background and stuff. Yeah, like 57% or so. Blend mode on lighten. And now we're going to create a vignette to make it look even more mystical. As you can see, there's a little white difference in there and that doesn't look too good. So go into the gradient and change the white color, although it has 0% opacity, to a black. So that's perfect right here. So play with the scale again, and then again change the blending mode to overlay or lighten. Yeah, there you go. This looks cool. I think soft light or overlay. Overlay, pull down the opacity. Yeah, that looks great, man. Give it a name, vignette. Maybe copy it, change it again to normal and pull down the opacity. Yeah, this looks fine to me, I think. We could use this now. But you have to add little details like a text at the top saying, I have no idea, like, yeah, I use the examples that I used before. A AP and Hucci presents Trills. That's the name of the album right now that we created here fictionally. So use a cool font right there. I think that's Gotham. Also adjust the spacing and also the X, that's a cool symbol of this style again. I think there are also hip hop elements. I have no idea right there, but it's just very modern right now, so I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, there you go. This looks cool. Maybe thicken it a bit or making it more slim. And what you should now also include in this kind of style is, if you want to, of course you don't have to, a parental advisory or to explicit content. Yeah, usually it's in the down right or down left. And that's the end of our tutorial. I hope you learned some new techniques. There are going to come a lot of great tutorials that are not on YouTube right now and that you guys should look forward to because yeah, they are unique. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. ArmaganVideos.